Okay guys, it's finally happening. The court has spoken, and Ador just came out on top in the first round of their legal fight with Newjeans. Yep, the Seoul Central District Court ruled in favor of Ador, saying that the exclusive contract between Ador and the 5 members of Newjeans is still valid. The judge basically said it's hard to see how Ador broke the contract just by firing Min Hee-jin. That move alone wasn't enough to make the contract invalid. So as of now, legally speaking, Newjeans is still tied to Ador. And here's where things get even messier. The court also said that Min Hee-jin's public fight for Newjeans' independence wasn't actually for the purpose of protecting the group. That's a pretty bold statement, especially since a big part of Min Hee-jin's defense has always been that she was fighting for the girls' rights and creative freedom. The court also mentioned that after Min Hee-jin was dismissed as CEO, Ador actually offered her a revised contract to let her keep producing for Newjeans. But instead, she chose to resign as an internal director. Newjeans and Min's claims, like the leaked trainee videos and alleged bullying comments from a HYBE official, were ruled as not strong enough to justify ending the contract. The court also rejected the idea that Min's public campaign against Ador and HYBE was meant to protect Newjeans, saying her actions weren't directly connected to the members' independence. So, what does this mean? Well, it means Newjeans lost the first trial of their exclusive contract lawsuit. The court ruled that there's no solid reason to end their contract with Ador, no matter how bad things have gotten behind the scenes. If we rewind a bit, all of this started in November last year. Out of nowhere, Newjeans held an emergency press conference, accusing Ador of breaching their contract and claiming that the trust between them had completely collapsed. The members said they couldn't keep working under Ador anymore and even announced plans to rebrand and go independent under a new name, NJZ. Ador fired back immediately and filed a lawsuit in December, asking the court to confirm that the exclusive contracts were still valid. They also requested an injunction to block Newjeans from doing any solo or group activities without Ador's permission. And in March, the court granted that injunction. So, until a final ruling was made, Ador legally remained Newjeans' management company. That decision basically froze all of Newjeans' independent plans. The court also approved something called indirect compulsory enforcement, which is just a fancy legal term meaning if any member tried to do an unauthorized activity, like a solo commercial or project, they'd have to pay a fine of 1 billion won per incident. That's roughly $730,000 each time. So yeah, one wrong move could literally cost them millions. After that, Newjeans had to suspend all activities completely. Both sides tried to reach a compromise through mediation twice, once in August and again in September, but both attempts failed. Newjeans argued that the relationship was beyond repair, that trust was gone, and that they just couldn't continue under Ador anymore. But Ador refused to back down, saying there was no legal basis for termination, that a loss of trust wasn't enough to break the deal. And while all this legal chaos was happening, former Ador CEO Min Hee-jin went ahead and launched her new company called OK, which only added more fuel to the fire. Fans started speculating if this meant Newjeans would eventually move there once they were free from Ador. But now, with this ruling, that future looks uncertain. The court just reaffirmed that Ador's contract with the girls is valid, which puts them back under Ador's control, at least for now. So where does this go next? Well, Newjeans can still appeal the decision, which could drag this legal fight out even longer. Or maybe both sides will try to reach a private settlement. Either way, this case is far from over. Newjeans' legal battle with Ador has officially entered its next phase, right after the Seoul Central District Court ruled in Ador's favor, confirming that the group's exclusive contract remains valid. In a statement released through their legal counsel Shin & Kim LLC, Newjeans made it clear that while they respect the court's ruling, they do not agree with it and will immediately file for an appeal. Here's what their statement said. Today, the Seoul Central District Court shared their judgment in the lawsuit filed by Ador, seeking confirmation of the validity of their exclusive contract with Newjeans. The court ruled that the exclusive contract is to remain valid. While the members respect the court's decision, they maintain their stance that it is impossible to return to Ador and continue regular entertainment activities with the company since the trust between the two parties has been completely broken. The members plan to immediately file for an appeal. We hope that the appellate court will thoroughly review the facts of the case and the legal issues surrounding the termination of the exclusive contract and make a wise judgment. Basically, Newjeans is saying that yes, they hear what the court said, but they're not backing down. The trust between them and Ador is gone, and they believe it's impossible to continue working together even if the contract technically still stands. Judge Jong Ho-gil, who presided over the case, stated, "It is difficult to say that the defendants, Newjeans, continuing their entertainment activities with the plaintiff, Ador, goes against their free will or forces them to fulfill their exclusive contract. We recognize that the exclusive contract will remain valid and that Ador will be the management company for Newjeans under the exclusive contract." The judge also clarified that firing Min Hee-jin from her CEO position did not count as a breach of contract and dismissed her argument that her actions against Ador were done to protect Newjeans. According to Tunisia, Newjeans' contract with Ador is set to last until July 31st, 2029. But here's the catch. Since the lawsuit caused a suspension in their activities, the contract period could actually be extended. So yeah, this legal fight is far from over. Newjeans may have lost the first round, but they're gearing up for a serious appeal, and this next phase could determine not just their future as artists, but the way idol agency contracts are handled in K-pop moving forward. This whole situation has been one of the biggest K-pop legal dramas in recent years. It's not just a contract issue anymore. It's about control, power, and who was wronged, the company or the artists. And for fans, it's honestly heartbreaking. Because no matter who wins in court, the damage to Newjeans' career and image is already done. They've been inactive for almost a year, their future's in limbo, and the bond between the group and Ador seems completely broken. So yeah, Ador might have the legal upper hand right now, but this story is far from finished. Newjeans fans are not taking the court ruling lightly. And honestly, it's a mess online right now. The fandom exploded with frustration. Many called the verdict absolute bullshit and a disgraceful ruling, arguing that the girls are clearly the victims here and deserve to be released from what they see as an abusive contract. The hashtag #FreeNewJeans started trending, with fans around the world expressing disappointment and anger, saying this case just proves once again how the K-pop industry tends to protect big companies over the welfare of its artists. One fan wrote, "This just proves that the K-pop industry only supports the companies, not the artists' well-being." But others countered that point, comparing it to Luna's situation, saying Luna won because there was actual evidence of mistreatment and contractual breaches, while in Newjeans' case, the legal grounds just weren't strong enough. A law student even shared, "When I said there was no way they were going to terminate the contract without prior court permission, I got mass quote tweeted and mocked. I love Newjeans, but it's just basic contract law." Another added, "I'm not even a law student and I knew this was going to happen. People were just in denial." So yeah, emotions are high, but the reality is this. Legally, the girls' contract still stands. And since Newjeans themselves have made it clear that they don't plan to return to Ador, that window seems completely shut. What's next is another round of appeals. But unless new evidence or stronger arguments are presented, we might just see the same outcome repeating again and again.